There is so much of confusion related to milk, right? Can you have milk? Is your milk is safe? Is milk is safe or not? Is milk mandatory? Is it good for health? So many questions, right? So we thought, let's make a video on this, and caution before you start watching it, this might be a little long, but I'm sure you'll be getting all your answer that you are looking for so many days. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So let's start with a basic question. Is milk mandatory? Not mandatory, because milk is a very good food, no doubt about it. But if you're somebody who cannot digest milk or you don't like milk, then of course you have multiple other choices to make, from where you can still make your food or your regular diet much balanced. So definitely keep no doubt attached that milk is mandatory. It is not. Next question, people ask us very often that how great is milk? Is it really good? Yes, of course. There is no doubt about it. See, milk is a complete protein, okay? That means it has all the essential amino acid exactly the way your body is looking for. So what else, what best you can ask for, right? Now, apart from that, it has vitamin D, it contains calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, vitamin K2, vitamin B12, omega-3 fatty acids, or conjugated linoleic acid. So it is a great combination of nutrients without any doubt. Plus, it gives you satiety. Suppose at the midnight you are suddenly feeling hungry, a cup of warm milk is great option, right? And of course it brings huge amount of variety in your diet. You can have just milk, you can have buttermilk, curd, chas, lassi, or paneer for that matter, right? Most of the Indians have milk or milk product and we enjoy it. But what happened lately is we are getting so many information that milk might not be safe. What the kind of milk that I'm drinking today might not be safe, or is at all milk is safe for my health or not. So I'm sure you are very confused. So in this video, as I've mentioned already, we are going to take each and every aspect of milk, what can cause you trouble, how you can get away with it. We will be discussing everything. So let's frame the questions in two ways. First, is milk safe for you? That is the number one question. The second question will be, what we will be trying to answer today, is your milk is safe? Like the milk that you are procuring and you are drinking every day, is that safe or not? Okay, so let's start with the first one. Is milk safe for you? So basically your body, for your body, is milk safe or not? Now let's understand why milk can be unsafe for the first place, right? First thing first, because of the milk carbohydrate, maybe because of the milk protein, or maybe because of the milk fat. So what is the carbohydrate present in milk? It's lactose. That means if your body cannot digest the lactose, then milk might not be very safe for you. Now, when your body can't digest lactose, if you have lactose intolerance, that means the body is not producing enough amount of lactase enzyme to break the lactose, the milk carbohydrate. As simple as that. So what generally happen, we get many cases where people complain, no, I used to love milk, I used to digest milk also, but right now I'm feeling I have difficulties digesting milk. It happens. With age, there are many cases rather, where people have their capacity to digest milk get diminished day by day. So that happen, and then you are becoming lactose intolerant. Now what can you do if you are lactose intolerant? Simple thing. It's not that you will not be able to drink milk at all. If you go by the data suggests that around 75% of people in the world and almost 60% of Indians, we suffer from some degree of lactose intolerance. Understand? Some degree. That means still there are no studies which clearly mention that you can still digest a certain percentage of milk, probably not a lot at a time, but at least most of the lactose intolerant patient, they can still handle 12 gram of lactose at one sitting. What does that mean? That means you can still handle a cup of milk, like around about 230 ml a cup, right? A cup of milk without creating any trouble. But if you are having more than a cup, then problem starts for you. So be very careful. Now, what you can do if you are lactose intolerant and completely cannot tolerate milk at all, then you have to think of quitting milk. How? That means you can't drink milk, whole milk or toned milk or double toned milk or skimmed milk, because for you the problem is with lactose, milk, carbohydrate, right? So you have to avoid all sort of milk product. That means you can't have curd, chena or paneer or cheese or buttermilk, chas, all that stuff. Plus, you also have to avoid milk as an ingredient, like the product which contain milk solid in it. For example, most of the ultra processed food, they contain milk solid, like in biscuits, cookies, bread, cake, muffin or donut or any kind of spread, sauce, breakfast cereal, all these contain milk solid. So if you're super touchy about your lactose intolerance and you really can't process a drop of milk, then you have to be very, very careful and you have to omit all kind of milk and milk sources from your diet. The second thing which can cause trouble for you is milk protein. Now understand, there are soluble protein and there are insoluble protein in milk, okay? 20% of them are soluble and rest 80% are insoluble protein in the milk. What happens? We get milk allergy. People who cannot tolerate milk and they don't have lactose intolerance also, but still they cannot tolerate milk, most likely they have milk allergy. Now the problem is we often misunderstand milk allergy with lactose intolerance. But understand, lactose intolerance is the problem which is there in your digestive system. But milk allergy is something which is directly connected to your immune system. So do not get confused between the two. Generally what happens, in milk there is a insoluble protein which we called alpha S1 protein, and that is the protein which create milk allergy. There are few people who might have milk allergy towards whey protein also. So what generally happens, if you are somebody who has this milk allergy, immediately after drinking milk you might get certain reactions, skin reactions like swelling of lips or tongue or mouth or throat. Then there might be hives and rashes, or you might feel itchiness in your skin, or there might be respiratory trouble. In fact, for very serious condition, you might get difficulties in breathing. So things can get really, really very scary if you are somebody who has milk allergy. Now, what to do? Definitely you got to avoid milk and all sort of milk products and all kind of product where milk is been used as an ingredient. Okay, it depends on the sensitivity of your body condition, but of course, to be on a safer side, you got to avoid all possible milk and milk products from your diet. Now you must have heard another term like A1 milk, A2 milk, and there's a lot of confusion about that, right? So you must be wondering, what is this A1 and A2 milk, right? There's a lot of conversation happening about A1 and A2, and of course A2 is great and A1 milks are not that great. So what is the scene here? What happened, it has been seen like, first of all, normal milk, the milk that you, me, we are all drinking on a regular basis, that has A1 and A2, both kind of a protein fraction there. Now, this A1, there are few studies which have shown that A1 protein may trigger the chance of type 1 diabetes or autism in the kids, okay? And that is the reason there is so much of ado around A1 protein, that A1 protein is bad. Now, for A2 protein or A2 milk, which is available in the market, what they have done, they have removed that A1 fraction of protein from the milk, and they're keeping only the A2 version, which is much, much more easy to digest for us and which is not likely to create any nuisance, in our body. So A2 milks are very, very expensive, you must have seen. But is it necessary? Now, being a consumer, what is your question? Is it necessary to drink A2 milk on a daily basis? Please note, the studies which are saying like, A1 milk is bad and there's a great impact on A2 milk on human body, we have not found any large trial, okay? Or whatever the trial has happened, it's very limited human trial. The methodology is under question. There is a huge industry influence on doing carrying out these studies. So more or less, since the trial or the number is not that huge of these studies, these are still, you cannot say like only A1 milk is bad and A2 milk are great. Okay, so keep that in mind. But yes, of course, being a consumer, if you have loads of money, then definitely you should try having A2 milk. But if you always love to be in a budget and you don't find that milk is literally a very big problem in your daily life, then please continue to have normal milk. Now the third thing which might put you in this question, like is milk safe for us, is the milk fat, right? After carbohydrate, protein, now milk fat. What is the problem with milk fat? Generally people have two questions. Is there saturated fat in the milk? Then is it safe for us? It must be very bad for my heart health. So this kind of questions people ask us very frequently. And apart from that, the other question is, can milk cause inflammation? So let me say one by one. First thing is the saturated fat is bad? Understand, the entire milk industry is standing on percentage of fat that the milk has. You must have seen there are whole milk which has 3.5% of fat, toned milk which has 3%, double toned milk 1.5%, low fat milk 1%, and skimmed milk 0.5%, right? Now, is milk fat very bad? Milk contains 70% of saturated fat, which is true. There is no solid evidence that saturated fat actually increase the risk of your heart disease or make you fat. Yes, you hear me right. Now what happened, there are many pieces of evidence which are saying that saturated fat increase the LDL level and also the HDL cholesterol, the good cholesterol in your blood. Now don't think all the LDL cholesterol is bad. Only very small and dense particle of LDL, and which has a negative impact on your heart and arteries. Okay, but saturated fat, what they do is they actually change this small densely packed LDL particles into large harmless LDL. Okay, so next time if anyone is saying, oh my god, milk has saturated fat and this fat is not really great for you, do not listen to them. Okay, fine. If milk fat is not a problem, then can milk fat create inflammation? See, there are several studies which has proved that milk and milk products, they do not promote inflammation. But what they have done is, if you are someone who has some kind of inflammation already in your body, then that condition might get worsened by consuming daily basis milk fat. That means if you're somebody who has rheumatoid arthritis, or you are having psoriasis or lupus or irritable bowel syndrome, or maybe multiple sclerosis, Hashimoto thyroiditis, or hepatitis, or any kind of inflammatory disorder in your body, then milk fat might not be great for you. If you already have inflammation, then only consider avoiding the milk fat. Now we are coming to the next part, like, is milk safe? Like, is your milk is safe? The milk that you are having on a regular basis, is it safe or not? Now, again, what might be your question? Number one, there is too much of hormones, there is too much of antibiotics pushed in the, cow, and that might be get into my body and that might mess up with my hormone system. That is the general thought process that people have. Now what happened? Two types of hormones are used, on the cow. One is the growth hormone, the bovine growth hormone, and the second one is steroid hormone, like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, to promote more and more growth and milk production. Now recent studies are showing that there is no significant difference in the level of cows who are treated with bovine growth hormone or not treated with bovine growth hormone. Now, what does that tell you? That tells you that even if they are treated or not treated, there is very, very limited data that says that, it is actually going to be absorbed in your body by drinking milk, or it will create any kind of adverse health effect. Okay, now you might be asking me, okay, fine, then what about PCOS patient? Because there are many ladies who are actually struggling with PCOS and acne for that matter, right? Then how do we deal with milk? What happens if you are somebody who have PCOS or PCOD already? That means your body has a problem to use insulin. Therefore, what happens is your body is in demand of increasing more insulin, right? And it starts producing more and more insulin. Now, extra insulin triggers the ovary to create more and more male hormone, and therefore you get delayed with your menstrual cycle, your body hair growth, you get acne, all that problem. Now, generally what happens when bovine growth hormone treated cow, they already has a higher level of insulin like growth hormone factor, okay, which we call IGH. Now, if your body is already struggling to handle excess insulin, or then on top of that, when you're having a milk which has insulin like growth hormone, that makes the situation worse, and it might aggravate the growth of your acne. Okay, so that is why if you're somebody who is suffering from PCOS, you also try avoid all kind of milk and milk product to make a more subtle hormonal balance. The bottom line is, if you are somebody who has no inflammatory disorder or PCOS also for that matter, and you're somebody who has not any kind of lactose intolerance or milk allergy, then milk is pretty much safe for you. But again, when there is so much of smoke around a product, it's always a wiser choice to control that consumption. Always try to drink milk in moderation. If you're somebody who is drinking maybe 2 liters of milk a day, you might have problem. Okay, so what you can do, if you're a non-vegetarian, make milk a part of all your protein sources. So maybe a cup of milk is fine for you. If you're somebody who is a vegetarian, then maybe 400 to 500 ml of milk per day is fine. But of course, try to source your milk from a good place where you have little bit of idea about the quality of milk that they are providing. There are many goshalas and small scale business who are really trying to make a difference. Okay, so try to get connected to them if there are some services available nearby your house. So there are a wide range of adulterants people use, like water or glucose or common salt, buffalo milk sometimes, or hydrogen peroxide, detergent, formalin, etc. Right? So yes, of course, you have to be little careful about the quality of the milk, and that's why I'm saying try to procure it from the local brand, a local group where you can at least see how they're treating the cow and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, yes, today the milking process is very, very unethical. Okay, even though I'm a fan of milk, but it is true that the milking process is very unethical. If you visit the goshala and the proper the milking factories, you will see yes, the animals are really not in great condition. My job, being a nutritionist, my job was to place all the points that you might be, all the points and questions you might be looking answer for. So I have tried my level best, to give most of the answer. I know the video is little long. Sorry for that, but I hope I was able to answer all your questions, the common questions that you might be having. So if you like this video and if you find this information very useful, please subscribe us, like the video, share it with your friends, and please comment below in the comment section. We will be happy to answer if you have any questions further. If you want to see the details, like the studies that I have mentioned, where are those studies, please, I'm giving a link below in the description box, a detailed blog we have written on this, where you'll be getting all the references. So please make sure you check that article, the blog article, and get all the informations. Okay, all right, see you soon. Stay happily healthy. Bye bye.